Hey y'all, I'm getting ready to make some gluten-free, soy-free, keto-friendly hamburger buns, sandwich buns, and bagels. If that sounds something like you would like, stay tuned and let's get cooking. To begin with, I want to show you the molds that I use, and this one I love. You can see it's got the little holes in it, and it makes much better buns than the other ones, so we're going to use that one. I do have this one too, and I'm going to make just these three in here just to show you the difference between the molds without the holes. And then I've got my bagel mold. I got all three of those molds from Amazon. They're relatively inexpensive, but if you're going to be making your own bread, you'll definitely get your money's worth out of them. Alright, let's get started. I've got my blender here. We're not going to use a mixer or anything. We're going to use everything in a blender, and let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is take 8 ounces, which is 1 full package of cream cheese, and 2 sticks of butter. We're going to put them in the microwave and melt it at 30-second increments, stirring between each 30 seconds. Okay, we're going to go ahead and mix this together good. I had it at room temperature, so it only took a minute to get it totally melted. We're going to set this aside. I forgot to mention that I do have my oven set at 350 degrees. Okay, we've got the cream cheese and the butter melted. We're going to let it cool off. And while that's cooling off a little bit, we're going to go ahead and take our dry ingredients and mix them in a medium-sized bowl. We've got 2.5 cups of superfine ground almond flour. You can use any kind of nut flour. I have used different kinds and it still works just fine. Okay, we've got 4 teaspoons of baking powder, or 1 tablespoon plus 1 teaspoon, and then 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then we've got our cheddar cheese, but we're not going to mix it in just yet. Get that mixed in very well. We're going to set that aside and get our blender over here. Let me readjust the camera. Okay. I have 1 dozen eggs. This is all at room temperature, y'all. Got a dozen eggs. No need to beat them up beforehand. go ahead and add our cream cheese mixture. And 1/4 of a cup of heavy cream. Okay, y'all, my camera shut off and quit recording, so we added the heavy cream and went ahead and blended that up. And then we're taking the dry ingredients and adding them just a little bit at a time and mixing between each addition. So let's pour that in there. We can just add the rest of it. This flour, I'm making a lot of noise. If you've baked with almond flour a lot, you know it's a very dry flour, so it's going to soak up a lot of this liquid. I came up with this recipe, I think, probably a couple of years ago now, and I've done a video on it before, but I thought it was time to do another one. And the final thing we're going to add is a 1/2 cup of shredded cheddar. Okay, the first mold we're going to use is this black one, and the first time I go ahead and spray it down with a little bit olive oil spray, but I won't do it again after this. This mix is very, very liquidy. Now I'm going to show you 2 different ways to make them in this pan. You can either make them thick enough and they will rise. So you make them thick enough that you can cut them in half and have a top and a bottom. Or you can pour less in there and have 1 slice of bread, essentially. This one, we're going to do all these filled up. You can also get kind of creative if you want to put onion powder, garlic powder, anything like that in there. I usually sprinkle nutritional yeast on the top of them, just for a little more benefit. And sesame seeds. Got that one a little full. But go ahead and while these are baking, get your cooling racks out because we will be using those. Now this is nutritional yeast. You find it in the baking section of your grocery store or Walmart. Got a little nudge on that. It has a nutty, cheesy flavor. I like them. I think it adds to it quite a bit. I don't really like sesame seeds on mine, but my husband does, so some of them will have it and some of them will not. Put the top on there because I know for sure I will spill it. Now these are going to bake for about 25 minutes. They will be a golden brown when they're ready to come out. So we'll see you back then. Okay, we've just gotten these out of the oven and you see how nice and golden brown they are. They're very hot, but this is how I get them out of the mold. I lift that edge up right there and just run the back of my fork or my fork over the back of the mold, and they just pop out. This one wants to stick a little as I'm sitting here saying that, they just pop out. Okay, this is what I was telling you. You see how thick that is? There's no way that you could have 2 of these and make a hamburger out of it. Your mouth just wouldn't fit around it. So you just take a knife and slice it in half. Or the other way is you could just fill just the bottom of this up and have 2 pieces. This time we're going to use this one so you can see how these turn out, and we're going to make some bagels. I just really don't like this one. It was the first one I bought, but I'm going to show you just so you know what not to get. And we're only going to fill these just a little of the ways full. I don't want to overfill. Okay, and these are going to be our bagels. And I'm going to fill them almost all the way full. Okay, and on our bagels, I am going to put, I don't know which way this camera picks it up, so I'm going to have to hold it this way for a minute. That's our everything bagel. I'm going to turn it upside down because I inevitably get it wrong. And we're just going to sprinkle some everything bagel seasoning on 3 of these. And again, this will bake 20 to 25 minutes, and we'll be back. Okay, these just came out of the oven, and this is what these are very, very hot. This is what I was telling you, you know, just pour a little. But these are how these buns turn out. And they're not as pretty to me as the other ones, and they're harder around the edges than the other ones. And then there's our bagels. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please click the like button and subscribe, and go click the bell notification, go to all so you'll be notified of all my future uploads. And until then, I will see you in my next video. Have a blessed day.